Now, welcome into the MLS on TSN Studios. I'm Daniel Zakshevsky, joined by Kevin Kilbane and Julian de Guzman. Guys, usually when a team is cemented to the bottom of the standings for a long period of time, you run out of things to talk about. That's not how things have worked with Toronto FC as of recently. Herdman will be there to evaluate things, but what's your evaluation, Jules, of this appointment?
Well, interesting you say that, this team's at the bottom of the table. And, fortunately, Herdman is able to, come to an MLS club as opposed to a European club where there's no rush to hire him. And he could take his time, getting, under a better understanding of what the MLS is about. TFC, MLSE financially will certainly back the ideas of what Herdman has done for the Canadian men's national team and women's national team as well. Also, the chance to rebuild a culture for a Canadian club. His background with working with Canadian players will be, super important. I think also the fact that, the strengths of Herdman that we all know is making people enjoy the game again. And that's the one thing I think he could do for the TFC group. But, I think the biggest challenges for me with John Herdman coming into TFC would be no experience with club football. I think, you look at the stats here and the results that he's done at an international level. International football is very different than club football. It's a different beast. Club football moves at a different cadence. And when you see the results that, for coaches, Kev, it comes down to every game. It comes down to every week. It comes down to managing the egos and personalities on a daily basis. International football, you get the one window to work with. You get a couple months, to move on and reevaluate things and prepare for the next window. But club football, as you know, it's a much different beast. And the egos as well. It's not just Canadian players that you're dealing with. You're dealing with internationals who have played abroad at a European level. Yeah. Those egos are a different beast, and I think that's going to be a major challenge for John Herdman.
I probably agree with that. It is a total different environment that John Herdman will find himself in, absolutely, Jules. I think there's another element of it as well, is how you mentioned the egos. How is he going to handle the DPs within the locker room? That's got to be a big thing that John Herdman's going to have to deal with. We have to say his record overall in Canadian soccer has been very good, as you said, both with the men and the women. But since the World Cup and during the World Cup, he made bad tactical decisions, I felt. I think off the field as well, there was a number of issues that obviously I thought he handled quite poorly as well. So his stock isn't as high as it probably was 18 months ago, 2 years ago, when he was really bringing this young group of Canadians through, Julian. So there's a number of factors I think that he's going to have to address, DZ. There's a number of factors that I'm sure he's already got it in his head how he's going to do it. I'm sure he's prepared for this day for a very, very long time. And when he eventually does take over, it's interesting that he's only taken over in October, that he's only got 3 games, regular season games to take over with. But I'm sure that he will try to envisage every scenario possible, Julian, that's going to come up. Because, as I said, he is ultra prepared. He's an ultra prepared coach. I think we all know that from speaking to guys that have worked alongside him and worked under him. So it's going to be an interesting few months now for TFC and how they get themselves prepared for next season, Jules. Not this season, of course, because this season is, as DZ said, it's mathematically possible. No chance. There's no chance for this year, have they?
Yeah, and I think that's the big piece is next season it's going to be his chance to show, improve, and learn the league. And that's going to be, I think, a learning process. The expectation is, for me, I don't think it's a sure shot that this team could make the playoffs even under 1 year for John Herdman. But it will take time for him to reinvent this culture that the team, desperately needs, and they need some new life, pretty much.